If you want to do that at the end.
I hereby take two. I hereby acknowledge that we are gathered today on the lands of the Awabakal people, and I pay my respect to this land and its elders, those who have gone before us and those who are still with us. I also respectfully acknowledge those that are gathered here and those who are watching remotely, are all from Awabakal and other nations, both Indigenous and non-Indigenous, all joined together to carry out this ceremony in the spirit of our ancestors.
Just like the white-winged dove sings a song, sounds like she's singing. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Just like the white-winged dove sings a song, sounds like she's singing. Ooh, baby, ooh, say ooh. And the days go by like a strand in the wind, in the web that is blown. I begin again. Say to my friend, baby, nothing else matters. He was no more than a baby then. When he could see broken hearted, something within him.
I know, Edge of 17 was Maria's ringtone. She loved this song and she would often have a little dance to it every time it played. And today it's a way of letting us know that she's still with us. Hello everyone, I'm Jenny Noblet, and it's a very special privilege for me to welcome you as we gather to celebrate the life of Maria Heath, a strong, loving, caring, proud Biripi woman, a selfless woman who always put others before herself. Maria was a much-loved mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, sister and cousin, and a cherished member of her extended family. Maria's brother John is now going to speak to us.
It's a wonderful gathering to be able to come together in these difficult times to at least pay respect in our own way to the mortal remains of one of my older sisters. There are many within the family and extended friends that haven't been able to come, but nonetheless are with us in spirit. And it's the spirit of Maria that I want to speak on today. Others will share other stories with you. But I want to share with you some of my memories of Maria Heath, Chipperfield. Maria was born 1949 October in Taree. At that time, and perhaps still now, one of the most racist towns in Australia. Born to a Guri woman and a non-Indigenous father. Those early years of her life, along with mine and other siblings, were spent at what we lovingly call Grandma's old place. My cousin Gloria, who'll speak a little bit later, lived much longer at Grandma's old place than any of us cousins and siblings. But they were wonderful memories in perhaps challenging circumstances that kids today certainly would have no idea about. Circumstances where we had no running water, no electricity. Water was hauled up from the creek down the back to do the washing. Some of the walls inside had newspaper covering the hessian instead of the wallpaper that others were sharing. But they were beautiful times. They were great memories. And it was there, or from there, that Maria learnt her close connection, not only to her country, but particularly to her grandmother, her aunties, and other direct relations. By the time she'd started school, we'd moved. The Heath clan had moved from Grandma's old house into a housing commission house in Chatham. And Maria started school there at Chatham Public School, the school that I also was able to attend. But within a couple of years, we moved down to Maitland via a stay with another one of our aunties on a small farm at Luskintyre near Lochinvar. And she went to that little school there along with myself and others. From there, we moved into Maitland. And I guess we had a somewhat disturbed childhood amid domestic violence. So that aspect of our life, Maria's life, was quite challenging. But I share it with you because I mentioned the spirit of Maria. And from that spirit is a stoicism, the strength that she had and she displayed throughout her life. And that she'd certainly gained from all of the ladies that had gone before her, her mother, her grandmother, great-grandmother, and so forth, her aunties. And it's a wonderful thing that she was able to overcome some of those challenges and find happiness And happiness she did find after we'd moved to Eastville, which is now Metford in Maitland. Moved to Eastville, but again she confronted some desperate experiences and was able to overcome them. She found happiness when we had the opportunity to go to the beach at Newcastle, catch the train down. And she used to love dancing on the sand at Nobby's Beach in Newcastle Beach, which was one of the few entertainments for teenagers at that time in the Newcastle area. And through that association, she got to know members of bands. And she was so proud to remind me many, many years later that one of my favourite bands from that time, the Sunsets, featured people that she became close to. In fact, one of the band members that she became close to was the best man at her wedding to Doug Chipperfield. Those memories from the beach, which also included working there alongside her Auntie Lois at a little cafe called Shipmates that was on the foreshore at Newcastle. She worked there and then she fell in love whilst working, I think, in a cake shop in Maitland. Doug could clarify whether it was the cakes that kept drawing him back or my sister. But they were lovely times, and those lovely times I was lucky to be able to be a part of on a number of occasions. Maria and Doug, initially when they were living up near Watt Street or in Watt Street in Newcastle, they would always invite you around. Me and my wife at the time, or in later years, Helen, my first wife. Don't mind sharing with you that I've had 4. But one of them just made that noise. But we'd go around there. There'd always be a Sunday dinner for us. And no matter what happened throughout her life, that was always the occasion. Maria and Doug had Michael, Karen, Jamie and Justin. And Maria ended up living for a number of years at Beresfield. And at Beresfield, she made close contact with a number of other Guri families, including the Ridgeways, Hector Thompson, the boxer. She loved in later years reminding Hector's son that she used to nurse him when he was a shitty-ass kid. Warwick understood completely. Her love of kin and others was one of her defining features. But of the many other things that she achieved in her lifetime was to go back into formal education as an adult. She had left school, like a lot of our people did, at the leaving age of 14 years and 9 months. But in later life, she followed her eldest son, Michael, who graduated with a degree as a maths teacher from Newcastle University. She followed Michael into formal study and enrolled in a program of administration of Aboriginal organisations through Wallatuka, from which she graduated, and I'm sure we've got a picture or two of that to show. And she was greatly proud of that achievement, as she was of other achievements, of becoming member of not only the Wabakal Co-op, but also the Wabakal Local Aboriginal Land Council. In more recent times, she was recognised as a member of the Wabakal Elders group. And through that group, she travelled to a number of different centres on the North Coast to participate in the Aboriginal Elders Olympics. These were the special moments that she made in her life, which was a life full of challenges. One of those challenges, of course, was losing one of her twins at an early age. But it never dimmed her faith in mankind and in her spirituality, and in fact in her Aboriginality. So just with those thoughts, I'll leave you and give others an opportunity to share with you. My darling sister, even when I didn't see her, and those of you that know her, when she'd ring up or you'd ring her up, she always finished with, "I love you." Wonderful memory.
We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep smiling through, just like you always do, till the blue skies drive the dark clouds far away. So will you please say hello to the folks that I know? Tell them I won't be long. They'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day.
Friend and a much loved and significant person to the family, and he's now going to speak on Jamie's behalf.
I've struggled with. I've asked my best friend Luke to speak for me, but I'd like to try. I just want to honour my mum, and just bear with me if I struggle. It's hard to find language to describe the connection I have with Mum and what my heart is capable of expressing into the limited words that exist. She's such a beautiful, loving mother. She's my life. She's my best friend, my safe place, my light, my healer, my beating heart. She was my Saint Maria. There was never a time in my life where I needed her and she couldn't. She was there for me always, and she always will be. Her eyes held my heart within them. I can't count how many times her hugs reassembled me and how the sound of her voice soothed me. She always chased away my loneliness like a furious lioness. She was my sunset, my cool, gentle breeze, my fire in the cold, the air that I breathe. She's my guardian. She watched over me my whole entire life. In my eyes, she carried herself with a beautiful sense of gentle eloquence, pure heart, soulful, authentic, direct, honest, selfless, giving, kind, patient. She had unconditional love. She had no terms, no hidden agenda, no ulterior motives. She was the genuine article, the Mona Lisa, the original, the one and only of her in her existence. She had no script. She wasn't vain. She wasn't petty, conniving, pretentious, tactless, glib. She was real. She wasn't self-aware in the way that other people want themselves to be presented to the world. There was no alter ego, no other version of her. It wasn't a statement. It wasn't a case of bug everyone. I'm unapologetically me, so deal with it. All she had to offer was herself. She only ever knew how to be herself, and she knew exactly who she was. There was a story in a film in which a guy talks about how every now and then a lion needs to remind the world that it's still a lion. But I think of Mum as a polar opposite. I would compare it closer to the majesty of a tiger. A tiger is quiet, patient, calm, and moves softly with purpose. It doesn't need to project or announce itself. There is no bravado. There is no beating of the chest. It doesn't want validation. It doesn't feel it has to remind anyone how many stripes, claws, teeth, scars, and how long its tail is, or how strong it is, or what it took to get where it is. It doesn't need to, for it already knows what it is and how far it's already come. It didn't concern Mum if people mistook her kindness for weakness. She still put herself out there, always, all of her. She bore the bruises, she absorbed the abuse, she carried the hurt, but she never compromised who she was. People thought she was hard to read because she was so quiet, but she didn't need to talk all the time. She spoke with her eyes. I know those eyes and her unspoken language better than I understand 99% of people's verbal talk. I studied her face and expressions my whole life. She loved to hear other people. When you talk, she listened, and I mean really, really listened. She was never just waiting for her turn to talk. She would never talk over you, down to you, or about you. She was never superficial or judgmental. She understood that those who constantly seek to find flaws in others are only ever revealing the flaws and the darkness that exists within themselves. She was one huge heart that wore a human on her sleeve. I've never met any other people who have had that natural, gentle radiance that Mum and my Nan have. It was beautiful when I would see the genuine happiness in people's eyes when they see Mum and Nan. Every person they loved is profoundly special to them. When they love completely, without expectations, conditions, recognition or reward. You are their gift. You were worth their time. You gave their hearts rhythm. You made their hearts sing. And I go over and over in my head memories of all Mum's soul-enriching qualities. Her level and compassion I'll eternally struggle to comprehend. In my life cycle, I've never seen or I'll never see another human being with her level of empathy. She would cry with gratitude for anything you do for her. Flowers, birthday cakes, gifts, hugs, smiles, phone calls, visit. It all made her feel blessed. Tears would flow at the drop of a hat with happiness. Any sadness, cruelty, or malevolence made her tear up. She felt everything. She cared. Things mattered. Time meant something. People have value. Moments have meaning. She lived as we all should, present, patient, available, open-hearted, open-minded, and to always forgive. All her family and friends are her sun and her moon. Without us, she never felt complete. She put everyone else first. She would do without to make her loved ones happy. It wasn't a sacrifice for her. It was an offering to the people in her life that she loved and worshipped. There is a line in a book that I've always adored, and it always made me think of Mum. It wasn't until I realised that your happiness was more important than my own that I truly knew how much I love you. To see you happy brought her joy. Beautiful souls like hers is why poetry, art, and music even exist. She loved my innate need to create music and my soul's passion for creative expression. She had understood what it meant to me on an intrinsic level. She gifted me with it. My most prized possession is the guitar that she gave me for my birthday. What that guitar helped me through was life-altering. It was a catalyst to a new paradigm. It created a trajectory. It was a tool. It was an implement. It was an extension of me. It gave me therapy. It animated life in a room. It gave sound to move people emotionally. It created a soundtrack for written words. It made people live in a moment and dance. It helped gain friendships, be part of a community and a culture. It gave me a voice. It gave me confidence. It gave me a sense of self and belonging. That instrument represents and honours who she is and what she inspired in me. Most of all, has always been sacred to me. I've always guarded it and cherished it with my life because from day one I knew what it meant to Mum to gift it to me. Lord knows how much Mum and I shared the love of food, and we always spoiled ourselves rotten whenever we went out for dinner or lunch. No matter what restaurant or cafe we would go to, people working there were always drawn to her, and their eyes would light up and smile. Their demeanour would automatically become gentle, patient, and accommodating. Forbid I went there alone. I'd always get that look, oh, it's just you. And then they would comment, where's your mum? How is she? With the sincerest level of earnest in their eyes. We used to go to a Mexican restaurant in town, and the Mexican-American guy who owned it always dropped what he was doing and would come over and say, hey, Mum, how you been going? I love that he used to call her Mum, and I think Mum did too. I always loved when Mum would randomly crack jokes when we watched TV, and her random comments from out of nowhere. I'd ask her, what do you want to watch? And she would go, Gordon Ramsay's. And I swear she was messing with me every time. I would respond, it's Gordon Ramsay, not Ramses with an S at the end. There's only one of him, and he's not the Egyptian king. Then she would do a little chuckle and look at me with her cheeky, smiling, sparkly eyes. I would often catch Mum in the corner of my eye, intently looking at me. Even up until a few weeks ago it happened. I would usually just say, what, Mum? And she would reply, I'm just looking at you because I love you. Her love, her words gave me strength and lifted me up throughout my whole life. As most of you know, Mum was no pushover back in her day. She would make a pack of hungry hyenas spit out their food and run away as hard as they could once her kettle got boiled. When she was younger, she had a healthy temper for someone who stood at a humble height of 12 feet tall when angry, but only 5 foot when she was calm. She had fire in her belly. She had conviction, stood up for the truth, and always read between the lines. It's no secret what hardships and struggles Mum endured in her life and what she lost. And anyone that knows truly knows the size of the mountain she carved herself through with her fingernails and teeth. She reinvented and reignited herself from nothing but cinders. Just like a phoenix rising out of the ashes, she rose. She's the strongest person I'll ever know. There were moments in her life that people would have seen a broken woman, a wounded, shell-shocked soldier with a 1,000-yard stare. But she overcome. She showed strength where it counts. She became even more loving, even more caring, even more gentle, even more open-hearted, forgiving. She didn't lose faith in humanity. She never lost hope, and she never gave up. The iron will and resilience and intestinal fortitude she had is staggering. Most people don't know the half of the horror she lived through. Losing Justin changed something in her, and she could never be the same. She thought about him every single day. Every single happy moment in her life, she would comment that she wished Justin was here to experience this. I'd like to share a moment in my life that'll forever be etched in my heart. It was some time after my twin brother passed away. I was sitting at Mum's place and I had a fire burning inside my head, a storm brooding in my heart, my blood on a constant boil. I was suffering in an agonizing silence. Like everyone in the family, I was mourning to what I thought was a meaningless, cruel life. I was in the black void, drowning in tar. My suffering would not go to sleep. I was so young. It was a lot to be carrying for someone with so little life experience at that time. I found myself staring off into space, kind of in a daydream, trance, lost in time. Mum just happened to be in my line of sight. And she was sitting at the other end of the table. And all of a sudden, she came into focus. And I could see this aura of angelic, just illuminating light, just glowing around her. And everything within me just changed. I was in this, like a state of deja vu. I felt transported. I was seeing her the same way I did as a child, completely enamored, worshipping the ground she walked on. It was a flashback of being young, intently soul-gazing up to the universe that was my mother. Then I felt this incredible weight gently leave my body. It was like the opposite of pouring down rain. I was overcome with the purest imaginable feeling of intense euphoric energy and love. Goosebumps, hair standing on end. My heart was exploding into a song. I was floating on air. I ran into the bedroom and I cried my eyes out. And Mum came in after me and I embraced her with all my heart and soul. It's a hug that'll never leave me. And I don't think I ever explained to her what had just happened to me. And I try to make sense of it. But deep in my soul, it tells me it was Justin making me see her as I did. And most of all, to remind me she was my healer and that she needed more healing than anyone, because what she was going through was 10,000-fold. Especially in my childhood years, I always felt this incredible feeling of always being loved and feeling safe. The connection between Mum, Justin, and I was a beautiful, symbiotic trinity of energy. The three of us together, we were one. We had a knowing of each other without having to establish the knowing or having to speak of it. We belonged to each other, not just by blood, but by soul. Our spirits spoke the same language. And I always felt like we have known each other for many lifetimes. I will never forget my mum nursing my broken heart when I moved back in with her. We would sit on the same couch in front of the TV, holding hands and cuddle each other. She healed me and put me back together so many times. Mum knew me, and she really, really knew who I am. No one will ever know me like she does, and I'm not me without her. I'm only my true self when I'm alone with her. There's a side to me that was only and will only ever be reserved for her. I trusted her with every single fibre of my being. Being her son is the greatest privilege and the greatest accomplishment of my life. She genuinely makes up any and every single cell of goodness and love that exists within me. I would not even be the shadow of the person I am without her. Her beautiful presence, her adoring eyes, her gentle voice, her cheeky smile, her soulful hugs will live within me forever. Mum, I love you in the most profound way that is beyond the capabilities of the human mind to even begin to understand. Our souls are connected forever and they'll never ever be apart. Everything that I am, every moment that I have, everything that I do will be for you. In my heart, I'll take you with you. Take me with you everywhere I go. You deserve the world and so much more. And anyone who knew you knows the world deserved to have so much more of you. Because without you, it's a world without love, without value, without substance, without kindness. You have the most beautiful legacy imaginable. I love you, my angel, for eternity.
Where did you hide your wings? 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 You light up every room you ever walked through. You light up every room you ever walked through. You are my angel. You are my world. You are my angel. You are my angel. Where did you hide your wings? Where did you hide your wings? Where did you hide your wings? Where did you hide your wings?
What are you doing? You don't try and stand up, do you? Most babies try and stand up. You don't try. You let's try and stand up? Yeah? Yeah? What you doing, Papa? Good night, sweet dreams. Love you very, 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 very much.
Life is made of moments. Today I'm speaking on behalf of Maria, her own words. A while back, she agreed to write her story as best as she could recall. I want to share some of the memories she cherished. After hearing John speak, we may be recapping some things, but that's because they're memories that she did cherish. They are important to her, and they're important to us. The best time of my childhood was going to our grandma, Grace Bug Edwards. She was both strong and gentle. Grandma lived at Chatham. I loved the train ride to Grandma's house. My auntie Kath lived with Grandma, with the two kids, Keith and Gloria. Grandma's house was very old, made of wood. The walls had cracks in them, so Grandma glued newspapers on the walls to stop the cold. It was fun laying in bed, reading the old newspapers. Grandma had bantam chooks in the backyard. We used to collect the eggs, but the chooks used to bite us. We used to go to the Peters ice cream factory and swim in their pool. People would bring us in ice blocks. We'd climb orange trees and get the oranges. No one in those days minded if you got the oranges. Grandma used to play music all the time on a battery-operated player. She would dance and sing. Grandma used to take us to the pie shop for lunch. We thought that was the best thing. When I was about 9 or 10, Dad took me and Carol to Sydney to stay with his brother Bill and Auntie Lorraine and their 3 kids. They were lovely to us. One time we went to some shopping centre and John Farnham was singing. I also saw little Patty. I was about 12 and Carol was 13. We used to go to Newcastle Beach. We would have to take Vicky with us. It was good swimming in the surf. They used to have bands on the beach. And you could go to the surf club for a dance called The Stomp. One time the Bee Gees were there. I was 14 years and 9 months and I left school to go to work. One of my jobs was at a cake shop at Maitland called the Dutch Cake Shop. I loved working there. They would let me take home the leftover cakes. I'm pretty sure my brothers liked that too. When I was 15, I was at the bus stop near the Maitland Post Office, waiting for a bus to go to Lara, when a nice-looking young man came up to me and started talking. His name was Doug Chipperfield. When I got on the bus, he got on the bus. We talked all the way to my house. We got married. We had the reception at home. Mum made the wedding cake, decorated it. She made it beautiful. Carol and I made the wedding dress and her bridesmaid's dress. When Karen was a baby, we moved to Woodbury, to a brand new house, just been built. Karen and Michael had their own rooms, so we were all happy. We used to go on holidays to Mermaid Beach near Surfers Paradise. We were still going on holidays when the twins were born. The twins were a handful. When I was in my 40s, I went to Newcastle University for 2 years. I was one of the first mature age Aboriginal people to do the course. John, my brother, who organised the course, was one of my lecturers. The course was Associate Diploma for Aboriginal Administration. I loved the study and was proud of myself. When I graduated, as I only went to school until I was 14 and 9 months. I've been looking at photos of my beautiful great-grandchildren, and I miss them terribly. They used to have lunch with me. I'd cook a leg of lamb or pork roast. We'd play hide and seek, sing songs, colour in. I had a good time with them. Obviously, these are just random moments. They don't truly reflect the depth of the relationship she had with everyone here. Each of us can recall a positive memory with her. That's because we are all part of her story.
I have 3 children, 2 granddaughters and 5 great-grandchildren to buy presents for, so it's a big help for me.
Tell me, what does it look like in heaven? Is it peaceful? Is it free like they say? Does the sun shine bright forever? Have your fears and your pain gone away? Yeah. 'Cause here on earth it feels like everything good is missing since you left. And here on earth everything's different. There's an emptiness. Oh, I hope you'll dancing in the sky, and I hope you're singing in the angels' choir, and I hope the angels know what they have. I'll bet it's so nice up in heaven since you've arrived. So tell me, what do you do up in heaven? Are your days filled with love and life? Is there...
Maria and her cousin Gloria Roswell had an extremely close and beautiful relationship. And I now invite Gloria to say a few words about her lovely cousin.
Oh, thank you. You won't be able to hear me. Thank you, Michael and Karen and Jamie, for allowing me the opportunity to share some memories of our beautiful Maria, your mum. Maria had many roles: daughter, granddaughter, niece, mum, nan, sister, aunt, friend, and a special cousin with an infectious giggle. Maria, along with her siblings, would visit our family over school holidays. What wonderful memories I have as children playing at what we know as the old home. Our home was full of love and care given by my mum, Kath, and Grandma Grace. My brother Keith and I were ever so happy to share this love and care with our cousins, with an added bonus of no shortage of playmates. Life was simple and carefree for us children, a little bit more challenging for the adults. My mum rode a push bike to work, and on hot summer afternoons, we would all be treated to a water icy pole, which Mum would purchase and bring home after work. Wrapped in newspaper and delivered with speed, Mum's deadly treadly, to avoid melting. Yum. Cousin Maria would also push me around on Mum's bike on my quest to learn to ride. Thank you. Another special occasion was attending the Manning River Aquatic Carnival. I have a great photo of Marie and John with my family at the carnival, which we have seen on the screen. Special times and memories again. I remember Maria had an extended holiday with us at the old home. And when she left to return home, I was inconsolable, crying out, "I want my Maria." Well, my dear cousin, I have shed more tears, but know you are at peace and in the arms of the beautiful women and your son Justin, who have passed before you. Maria had once told me about a plant she received after Justin's passing, named Yesterday, Today, Tomorrow. My interpretations of these words are: yesterday, beautiful memories. Today, farewelling and celebrating Maria's life. Tomorrow, reflecting. To our beautiful Maria's family, sisters and brothers, I extend our love and deepest sympathy from my family and my brother's family. Thank you.
Thanks for the times that you've given me. The memories are all in my mind. And now that we've come to the end of our rainbow, there's something I must say out loud. You once, twice, three times a lady, and I love you. Yes, you once, twice, three times a lady, and I love you. I love you.
The song Three Times a Lady that we've just listened to is a very special song, as it's the song that Karen would always sing to her mum. I now invite Maria's brother Minnie to share some memories of his much-loved sister. It's a little too difficult for Minnie to actually speak, so we're going to listen to a song called I Am the World by Robin Gibb.
True love is one thing I've been dreaming of. I give my soul to you, and when I do, you are to me the very deepest part of me. In the darkness, it's you that always shows the way. The very air I breathe. When hope is gone, you give me all the strength I need to carry on. I am the world. I am the sky. I am the sea. I am anything that you want me to be. When you hurt me, then I become the night time. The shadows in my eyes don't make it go. It shows this heart not made of wood.
We've heard from some very special. Yes, certainly, come forward.
Thank you. Hello. I think I've got everything. I'm Mark Jolly Boyle, for anyone that here doesn't know me. I think most of you do. I'm the colourful one in some of the photos. I've been thinking about this for a while, actually, and so many different ideas. For starters, who here is Indigenous? Raise your hand. As my mentor in Byron Bay would say before he passed also, if you're not, what planet are you from? We're all Indigenous to this planet, and I just keep thinking that over and over and over. How that's sort of how me and Maria got along. It was just a mutual respect. It didn't matter where you were from, what you were doing. We met at the Spiritualist Church, and that amazing family presence there brought us together, me and Maria, and many others. But me and Maria, for some reason, we just clicked. And like a lot of them there, we've both got extended families that we love, kids and grandkids, and Maria's great grandchildren. But we also have we all had children in spirit as well, so we connected on that level as well. And I was living in Newcastle, not far from where Maria was, and we would just take her everywhere. And some people didn't get it, I suppose. Maria was quiet most of the time. But it never mattered to me if she was quiet. Like I can be quiet sometimes too, but we just really got each other, and she just loved coming with us wherever we went, and we shared a lot of our life with Maria. We even took her out night clubbing one night. She was out till like 3 a.m, dancing. So the day I got the news, I was sitting in the taxi in Byron Bay, dressed in the most colourful rainbow tie-dye suit, ready to work the New Year's Eve shift. And I literally got the news of a passing before my first job, and I thought, this is so surreal. I'm dressed like a clown. I'm feeling torn apart, and I just had to laugh. And I heard a voice, and she said, "I'm okay." And it's a big part of our belief with the Spiritualist Church of life after death, and proving that through mediumship. And me and Maria, with our children in spirit, would talk of that quite often, and it was a very strong belief and comfort for us, and to continue on each day. So I certainly find comfort in that every day. And then the next day, I was meditating at home. I live in a rainforest jungle in Byron Hinterland, and Maria came straight through, and she's dancing. She had a green slip on, dancing around. She's saying, "Look, I'm young and I'm happy and I'm healthy again." And we couldn't want much more than that. So I'm so blessed with that connection that we have, and I believe everybody can have that connection, and it can be the simplest little thing. What's your connection with Maria? And ask for a sign. It can be a feather or a leaf or like I said, anything, and just sit down like Maria always loved to do. Sit down, have a cup of tea. Sit down and have a cup of tea with her still, and invite her. They're always there. As soon as you think about them or say their name, they're there. I certainly know that. But thinking on what I was going to say, and then this just popped up, and it was so perfect. I thought I have to read it. It so perfectly says how I feel with my connection with Maria, and how I know she'd feel. It says, so it's by, I don't know if I'll pronounce it right, Miriam Rose Ungunma Bauman. She's the Aboriginal activist, educator, artist, and 2021 Senior Australian of the Year. And she says, "My people are not threatened by silence. They're completely at home in it. They've lived for thousands of years with nature's quietness. My people today recognise and experience in this quietness the great life-giving spirit, the Father of us all. It is easy for me to experience God's presence when I'm out hunting, when I'm in the bush, among the trees, on a hill, by a billabong. These are the times when I can simply be in God's presence. My people have been so aware of nature, it is natural that we will feel close to the Creator. Our Aboriginal culture has taught us to be still and to wait. We do not try to hurry things up. We let them follow their natural course, like the seasons. We watch the moon in each of its phases. We wait for the rain to fill our rivers and water the thirsty earth. When twilight comes, we prepare for the night. At dawn, we rise with the sun. We watch the bush foods and wait for them to ripen before we gather them. We wait for our young people as they grow, stage by stage, through their initiation ceremonies. When a relation dies, we wait a long time with the sorrow. We own our grief and allow it to heal slowly. We wait for the right time for our ceremonies and our meetings. The right people must be present. Everything must be done in proper way. Careful preparations must be made. We don't mind waiting because we want things to be done with care. We don't like to hurry. There is nothing more important than what we are attending to. There is nothing more urgent than that we must hurry away. There is nothing more urgent that we must hurry away for. We wait on God too. His time is right. We wait for him to make his word clear to us. We don't worry. We know that in time and in spirit of the deering, that deep listening and quiet stillness, his way will be clear. We are river people. We cannot hurry the river. We have to move with its current and understand its ways. We hope that the people of Australia will wait, not so much waiting for us to catch up, but waiting with us as we find our place in this world. If you stay closely united, you are like a tree, standing in the middle of a bushfire sweeping through the timber. The leaves are scorched, the tough bark is scarred and burnt, but inside the tree sap is still flowing. And under the ground, the roots are still strong. Like the tree, you have endured the flames, and you still have the power to be reborn. Our culture is different. We are asking our fellow Australians to take time to know us, to be still and to listen to us. Thank you. That just beautifully summed up how like I said, it just came to me divinely at the right time. So it's so perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Maria. Love you.
Thank you to some of the special people in Maria's life for sharing their love and their memories of Maria. Anyone who wishes to come forward to say their last farewell to Maria is invited to do so now. After you've said your goodbye, can you please return to your seat for the closing of the service? During this time, we'll listen to I Have a Dream by ABBA.
Dream, a song to sing, to help me cope with anything. If you see the wonder of a fairy tale, you can take the future even if you fail. I believe in angels, something good in everything I see. I believe in angels, when I know the time is right for me, I'll cross the stream. I have a dream. I have a dream, a fantasy to help me through reality. And my destination makes it worth the while. Pushing through the darkness, still another mile. I believe in angels, something good in everything I see. I believe in angels, when I know the time is right for me. I cross the street, I have a dream. I'll cross the street, I have a dream. Have a dream, a song to sing, to help me cope with anything. If you see the wonder of the fairy tale, you can take the future, even if we fail. I believe in angels, something good in everything I see. I believe in angels, when I know the time is right for me. I cross the street, I have a dream. I cross the street, I have a dream.
More than 300 hampers going to those in need. We know that Christmas can be a difficult time for a lot of our families, whether that's financially or emotionally.
I've got a lot of expenses at the moment with medical bills, and I have 3 children, 2 granddaughters, and 5 great-grandchildren to buy presents for. So it's a big help for me.
Meredith Gibbs, NBN News.
This concludes the service for Maria in the chapel. Thank you to the people who attended today. You may now wish to travel to Sandgate Cemetery for committal and interment, but if you feel at peace that you have said your final farewell and do not need to travel to the cemetery, thank you once again for your presence. We now ask Maria's siblings to escort Maria from the chapel. Please stand.